Good morning and welcome to Sunup. I'm Dave Deacon, and you may know that Oklahoma had a pretty bumper wheat crop this year, and the price of wheat may be a little bit lower, and we have Dave Lalman here to talk about some feeding options with this low price wheat. What should producers be thinking about?
It is a good feed grain, and at the moment it's less expensive than corn grain for most parts of Oklahoma. So we anticipate there will be quite a few producers interested in using it either as a supplement or in their total mixed ration. Probably the first thing that folks need to consider is there's a substantial reduction in energy availability, particularly starch digestibility, if wheat is not processed. So in most cases it's going to need to be processed. If you compared to let's say coarsely rolled or ground wheat, whole wheat would have about 20, give or take 20% reduction in starch availability. So that's one of the first considerations. On the other hand, if the price is 20% lower than the alternative, they might be able to get by with whole wheat. It's safer to feed and of course save the expense.
Are there some downsides to feeding wheat?
Sure. Compared to corn grain as an energy source, wheat is rapidly fermentable. The starch in wheat is rapidly fermentable. So if you feed too much too fast, you can wind up with digestive upset that leads to acidosis, bloat, and founder. Back off on the wheat.
Okay.
I mean, that is the simple thing to do. And increase the roughage, particularly long stem, long particle size of the roughage component, and that generally will get the cattle back in better condition from a digestive upset standpoint in a matter of a couple of days.
Now, should producers be thinking of feeding wheat as a supplement to pasture land?
A lot of people will. You know, it can be used, say, later in the summer to offset poor quality forage to enhance performance of cattle. That's one reason why people might use it. If you've got a given amount of forage, you know, concentrate feed is sometimes, if it's inexpensive enough, and it is this year, can be used to extend the grazing on a particular piece of land. There are some limitations to how much wheat you can feed and general guidelines. So let's first talk about guidelines for a situation where you have, say, pasture available or free choice hay.
Right.
And the cattle are going to consume all they want. So that's basically what we consider a forage-based diet. And you're using the wheat to either increase their performance or supplement energy, or however you want to think about it and look at it. In that situation, the concentrate portion or supplement, it's actually a little, would probably be used a little beyond what we consider supplement, but we'll just call it a supplement to keep it simple. The supplement should not be more than about 1% of the animal's body weight. So 5 pounds for a 500-pound calf, 12 pounds for a 1,200-pound cow. Don't exceed that. And then the limitation for wheat or guideline to keep the animals safe would be around 50% of that concentrate portion. No more than 50% should be wheat. The other situation we might mention briefly is a total mixed ration. Okay, so that's different. That's different altogether because there the producer, the manager, has taken a responsibility for determining how much the animals get to consume every day, because every bite they take in a total mixed ration, they're getting the roughage, the concentrate, the minerals, and everything. So in that situation, a safe guideline is to not include wheat at any more than about 30% of that mix. So producers should be aware that rapid introductions of wheat grain can also lead to the acidosis problem, and so gradual introduction is important.
let's talk timetables now. How long should the step up be, and then how long can producers feed wheat to cattle? Okay.
As far as the step up or gradual increase in inclusion rate, that should occur over a period. I mean, it depends on the maximum amount they're going to feed wheat. You know, if they're going to go to what we suggest the maximum, it could take it should take maybe 3 to 4 weeks.
Really?
If they're going to shoot for something under those maximum guidelines or rules of thumb, you might get that done in just a couple of weeks. So at increasing by a pound a day,
Right.
in 3 to 4 day increments, that you could probably get that done in a couple of weeks in a lot of situations. But as far as how long can they or should they feed wheat, well, I'd say that just depends on their forage situations, their marketing goals, and so on. It can be fed any time of the year to replace concentrate that they would have been feeding otherwise.
Producers can go to their county office and talk to their educator about how to do this, but there's also other areas where they can learn about this.
Sure. We have a fact sheet on it's kind of focused on alternative feeds, so other alternatives than wheat, but wheat is one of those discussed in that fact sheet. It's also covered in the new version of the Beef Cattle Manual, which is, as I recall, is chapter 17 in that manual, and there's a section on feeding wheat with all these guidelines.
Okay, thank you much, Dave.
Thank you.
And for more information, go to our website, sunup.okstate.edu.